the HDRS Cup Series is already well underway. We finished off our regular season championship already, and now we are into the round of 12. Race 2 in the round of 12 brings us to the Monster Mile, Dover, Delaware. Hello, everyone. I am King Canute, and joining me here in the booth is B Nizzy. B Nizzy, this track is very, very unforgiving, as we saw last night in the Xfinity series. What is your take on Dover?
Ah, man. Well, unfortunately, I missed the Xfinity race. I didn't get to see anything that happened. But generally speaking, it's hard for me to say because this is one of those weeks where, I practiced with the trucks in Xfinity and I just could not get dialed in at this place. But generally speaking, historically, I've always found it a very fun track. Um, a track that really, it's concrete surface. It runs little. I don't really know what to say. I shouldn't have brought that up because I got nothing to bounce off of that. But just, I guess there is a quick little fact there. But I mean, you can run the high side here, I think, if you got the car dialed in a certain way, and if you do it right and you find that grip, you can have a lot of success there. It's very bumpy coming out of these corners, so I'm sure we'll see a few problems here, and maybe some major ones due to guys coming out of these corners, especially over two side by side, going over that bump. The line kind of and the grip kind of takes you up towards that wall, and you get that big bump, and so guys aren't careful, there could, and even if you are careful, there's sometimes so tight there, there's nothing really to do. So, but yeah, I don't know if it's technically considered a short track, but it kind of races a bit like one, but a fast one too. It's almost kind of in between, I don't know if I'd say a speedway, but there's a speed here. So yeah, maybe a little bit in between a short track and a speedway, but fun place to watch a race.
Based on distance alone, it is classified as a short track. It is right at that 1 mile distance. This concrete speedway, as you said, it does race like it's a big mile and a half speedway, like Texas or Charlotte, or even it's even got the speeds like Darlington. These guys are going to be reaching right around 180 miles an hour heading off into the corners. And there's not going to be a whole lot of speed loss when they go through the corners. At minimum, I think that the guys that have their cars dialed in the best will probably only lose 20 miles an hour, maybe 25 miles an hour at tops. One thing that these guys are probably going to have to pay a lot of attention to during this race is going to be something that happened last night early on in stage one. During green flag pit stops, there was an accident involving race leader Death Before Dishonor and a couple of other guys as Death was trying to get onto pit road. And unfortunately, that trapped several drivers multiple laps down and basically screwed a number of people out of a chance to get a good solid finish, including myself. I was basically stuck 2 laps down for most of the race, was able to claw my way back through sheer luck and caution, timing, and strategy. But once I made another mistake after that, unfortunately, I ended up 5 laps down after that. But a great big congratulations to Stag. He actually eked out a win after MN Golf Pro unfortunately ran out of gas coming to the finish line on the last lap. So big win for Stag there. Congratulations to him again. Since I'm an admin in the Xfinity series, I will have the Xfinity series points up tomorrow on the Hammer Down Racing Facebook page. While you're here on the YouTube channel, those of you watching, please like this video if you're watching it live. Like the video if you're watching it under, well, delay, so to speak. And please subscribe to HDRS too. We appreciate all the support that we can get out here. Just getting set and ready to go here. We should be getting our invites right now. A little bit of track facts. You know, Beanizzi, this track used to be asphalt before they changed it to concrete in 1994, I think.
Sounds right to me. It was before I started watching. I was too young. I know that.
um,
I
and
haven't seen the highlights though.
this track used to be named Dover Downs because of the horse track that used to be inside of the speedway. I believe that the closest horse track that would be to Dover, Delaware, or at least professional horse track, would probably be Belmont, which is in your neck of the woods there, Bean Izzy.
It is. It's actually very close to me.
Oh, nice.
A few miles. Maybe more like 10 miles. I'm not sure exactly, but it's
Have
quick
you
car
ever
drive.
have you ever been?
I have not. That's something I'd actually like to do is see the Belmont Stakes one day.
I
I'm not a big
wonder
horse racing person, but I do like watching the Triple Crown races when I can, so
I
it's cool to
wonder
see.
I wonder what the cost of a ticket for that would be. I'll have to look that up if we ever fall into a lull here during this race. But yeah, this track was built, I believe in here. I brought it up here on Wikipedia here. Of course, we always trust Wikipedia. All their information is always 100% accurate. Um,
Oh yeah, of course.
but the track was built in the late 60s, hosted its first NASCAR Cup Series race in 1969. Um, and it's raced in, it has raced two races per year um, in the Cup Series from 1971 till 2020, of course, with 2021, the Cup Series dropping one of the races to give a race to the Nashville Super Speedway, which is um, under the Dover Motor Speedway umbrella, or now basically also included underneath the SMI umbrella. But yeah, we're looking forward to some great racing action. As B Nizzy said, a little bit of bumps in the corners. You'll have to be careful of that. We'll probably be seeing a lot of guys trying to diamond out the corners in these very, very fast um, 1 mile oval. 24 degrees of banking in the corners, 9 degrees on the straights. So basically, if you get involved in an incident, or if there's an accident happening around you, go high because everything is going to go down to the bottom of the racetrack. They call this a self-cleaning racetrack, and uh, experiencing firsthand, at least in the video game, I understand why I'm watching NASCAR races on the television from 1996 on forward. I completely understand. But yeah, it was asphalt from 1969 until 1994, and then in between those two seasons, they uh, reconfigured it and made it concrete from 1995 straight on through till the present. As the invites continue to roll in here, we'll be getting set and ready to go.
Sorry, I should fill in the time right now, but I'm a little distracted. I need about 30 seconds to get my
No, no,
bearings here.
no, you're no worries. So, looking at the track records here, as far as the truck series is concerned, the fastest lap here is actually a 23 .23 second lap around here. The truck's record lap is actually quicker than the Xfinity series. A lot of that being attributed to the amount of downforce in the truck series. The fastest lap in the Cup series is a little over a second faster than that, with a 22.2 second lap. And the fastest lap ever at Dover Motor Speedway is back in 1998 with a lap of 19.62 seconds. That is flying around that 1 mile oval. Um, Most wins at this racetrack. Jimmy Johnson, he holds 11, um, with David Pearson holding the most poles at 6, which is surprising because I thought that there would be someone holding a lot more laps than that, or poles than that. Um, the youngest winner, Chase Elliott, who was 22 years, 10 months, and 8 days when he won. And the oldest winner being Mr. September himself, Harry Gant, 52 years of age, 4 months, and 21 days old.
Do we know? Oh, looking at the. I was just gonna ask if we know who's on the pole, but I'm sitting here looking at the lobby. So you have last night's winner up here on the pole. King Pile with a nice front row star here, starting second. I don't know. You didn't mention that, did you? Am I repeating what's
I
already been
no
said?
no no. I haven't even seen anything regarding any starting lineup or anything. So I've got to see if I can find. Uh, oh yeah, there he is, Barry Springer. He's broadcasting tonight. Um,
That's what I'm looking at.
Mr. Dark Knight providing the video coverage. He'll be starting in third tonight. Looks like yep, Stag starting on pole. Pyle starting in second. Pyle is a fantastic qualifier. Very
Mm-hmm.
probably one of the best, if not the best qualifying average um, in the Hammered Down Cup Series this season. But for whatever reason, he just can't quite piece together a race and get him in victory lane. Um, I would probably take a gander and say that Pyle has one of the strongest, or has a strong chance to get in victory lane tonight. He had a tough race last night in the Xfinity Series. Hopefully, he's looking to redeem himself and park it in the winner's circle tonight in the Cup Series.
Yeah,
Other
I'd love to see that from that 14 machine. A lot of fast, a lot of nights since I've been here, he's had a fast car and just seems to get caught up in something or a lot of bad luck. But definitely, like you said, he knows what he's doing with that thing. He's fast out there, and I'd like to see him get that thing in victory lane here pretty soon, if not tonight.
so KSJ will be starting in fourth outside of row two, outside of Dark Knight. Dunlap and Biker make up row three. Sniper and Visceral make up row four, with Reverend Hot Nuts and Travesty Son making up row five. Unfortunately, we cannot see who are starting 11th and 12th. There's currently 12 drivers in the field, or 12 drivers in the lobby right now, and I'm not sure if they're waiting on other drivers to join, but uh, but yeah, unfortunately, that's the best information that we have for you right now.
And I have just gotten some live driver audio here, so maybe I can, if there's any updates I hear, I'll let you know.
Okay, I'm trying to work on getting to the Cup Series points here. Um,
I got them here if you need, but
there it is. So, with Travesty winning at Talladega last week, very, very impressive win last week, being able to beat out uh, a number of fantastic racers in this series. Travesty has locked himself into the round of eight. Um, Death currently sits 11 points above the cutoff line, as does Dark Knight and Silence, as well as Visceral Killer. Maydale sitting in sixth. He's 9 points above the cutoff line, and uh, Reverend uh, Reverend Hothead is 2 points above the cutoff line, with Dunlap holding that cutoff position. 4 points back from Dunlap is Pyle, King Pyle. He and KSJ are 4 points back. Biker is 11 points back, and Mr. The Twoon unfortunately missed Talladega last week. He with his work schedule at this time, not able to um, compete uh, in the round of 12. So it looks like he will end up being eliminated unless he shows up at the last minute or is able to, for whatever reason, able to show up in 2 weeks' time at Chicagoland Speedway and able to eke out a win. Which reminds us, next week there will be no Hammer Down Racing Series competition across all three series. The
Oh
Xfinity's
man, I forgot.
yeah, the Xfinity Series race falling on
Oh, that's
Thanksgiving.
right. That was, yeah.
Yep, Cup Series race falling on Black Friday and Saturday being the trucks. Yep, no competition across all the Hammer Down competition. We are looking at piecing together potentially a non-points. Uh, we'll call it a spectacular event.
It's fitting for the spectacle that is the Hammer Down Racing Series. Did I say that right?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Did I said that's fit in for if I'm saying this right, the spectacle that is Hammer Down Racing?
That is correct. That is correct. So
Just a quick
Snipe.
heads up, sorry to cut you off. In 11th and 12th right now we have Death Before Dishonor and Maydale, so they're ready to go. And we have a 13th place driver, but I missed him. Sorry, just wanted to point
All
that out.
right. So looks like we are getting ready to go here. Um, Sniper asks, uh, who may I ask who the winner of season 2 at Chicagoland was? I believe that was Sniper. I do not remember that race particularly since I was not um, part of the broadcast team. I was in that race. Actually, no, I take it back. I was having internet woes during that race, so unfortunately, yeah, I
Joining up.
do not remember. So here we go, getting set and ready to go.
That's 6 Roushford. Stag made a comment that he's feeling really good about that car if the track layout is the same as last night. He was talking about it feeling throughout the week, the track feeling very schizophrenic and bipolar were his words.
The track
So
layout
his worry
being
is that it'll be a very different feel out there.
the track layout being how the sort of like weather in
Mm-hmm.
real life, how the track acts um in
Going green.
comparison to other races here. So yeah, getting set to go green here. I'm gonna be joining here shortly. I'm gonna miss the green flag.
We got the 3 leading them. Stag, a little bit of contact for second. They're 3 wide for third. Pyle got a little loose with the contact, and there's a wreck in the back there. I can't see who.
I
Yeah, we
think
got Piles wrecked.
it looked like maybe.
Bikers wrecked.
Yep, I thought I saw a biker around. Surprisingly, no caution in game, so I'm pretty sure there's going to be an in-game caution. So these guys will be racing back to the line here. Yeah, lots of damage between the 14 of King Pile and the one of Biker.
Well, it
Oh,
didn't take
lots of
long. Like I
calamity
said, that
here.
turn 2. Yeah, we. Ooh,
Lots of
some
calamity
mayhem.
here
Stags
as
in the grass.
cars were trying
Dark Knight
to.
is turned.
I think guys were trying to check up
Yeah.
for the caution, and looks like we've got Rev Hot Nuts suffering a lot of damage as well. Not entirely sure what's going on right now, but
I think it's like you said, just stacking up under caution. But like I said, I mean, what was I saying in the start of the broadcast? That turn 2 coming out of that over that bump's too wide, and Take ended up 3 wide. I think there was contact before the actual exit with the 14, and I forget who it was with for second, and then he ended up on the high side of 3 wide, right on the exit coming over that bump, and I didn't see the beginning of the wreck, but obviously here's a result of caution.
So I
Pretty
think
bad one coming out of two there.
what I'm wondering here is if Hot Nuts is having communication issues. Last night, it took several laps before we were even able to hear Hot Nuts over the chat. So I'm wondering if something similar is going on tonight. Looks like we got some drivers coming down pit road here under the manual caution rules. It is a quickie yellow. Everyone's able to pit at the same time.
A lot of guys were wrecked there in the initial wreck or under caution because I mean there's still at this time or kind of right now guys are now getting down to speed. Seemed like I'm scrolling through. It was like half the field were still, not I wouldn't say
Well,
pushing as hard as they could, but pretty driving around the track.
Almost an entire half lap after that initial wreck, there was a massive pileup heading into turn
Right.
3, which included leader Stag and a bunch of other drivers. Um, Everyone was checking up for the caution, and unfortunately, that basically jumbled up the field. So everyone manually got back into the position. Looks like Travesty is going to be leading this group out of pit road. So Travesty trying to see if he can secure another win here, get 2 in a row in the Hammer Down Cup Series competition. It'll be
He has been
Travesty's.
strong in all series, really, he's been strong since I've been racing with him. But it seems like since he made that move to Cup, I don't know if there's any correlation, but coincidentally at least, it seems like
Perhaps.
in really all of his races, regardless of the series, he's really just been getting stronger and stronger. And he's been a
I,
force out there
I,
lately.
I'm inclined to agree with you there, Benezi. Travesty's level of how do I want to word this? His level of speed has vastly improved.
Yeah, raw speed, like hanging with the fastest guys consistently here these last few weeks, it seems.
One thing I wanted to bring up, pit road speed at this racetrack, 35 miles an hour. And when these guys are averaging above 160 miles an hour around this racetrack, that's a lot of speed to lose. So what we did last night during the Xfinity Series was we basically had to set ourselves up to enter pit road by getting on the apron, going into turn 3, and slowing ourselves down enough so that we could enter pit road. And we still had issues
Yeah, of course.
with
Yep.
people getting on the pit road. A
Not
couple of
surprising.
people suffered pit road speeding penalties, including Hot Nuts. As we get set to go back to green flag racing, Travesty, getting a trying to fend off a run from Stag. Looks like they didn't really get off to a good run there, or get off to a good restart there on the inside. So Hot Nuts is your new leader.
Got a mess back here. Pyle got caught up, got in the back there. We almost had a problem, but Pyle, he clipped the inside wall, running up on some slow traffic there. Got distracted on that restart. I was looking at the 6. He had joined. He was the last one to join. I'm guessing he was in such a rush he never got a chance to put a paint scheme on. He's running the test car out there.
Oh, you mean Maydale? No, sorry.
No, the 6 of Silence.
Oh, Silence, yeah.
It's an orange 6, no decals.
Well, this track is so demanding on setup. If you make one small adjustment just the wrong way, it can either make your car really, really tight or really, really loose over the long haul. And you want your car to be incredibly balanced at this racetrack. And it is so hard to fine-tune these cars. As it looks like we have a little bit of an issue further back.
Did I say setup and not paint scheme when I referred to the 6 car?
You said paint scheme.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure you said paint scheme.
Gotcha. Just want to make sure. That's something I would do, is say.
Either way, Silence in that 6, regardless of whether he's running the test car or not, look for Silence to be quick.
For sure, it don't matter what he's racing. I just found it kind of funny.
And he's already worked his way up into the 5th position as we follow our leader, Sniper, in the number 10 Go Bowling Machine. With the 9 of Hot Nuts in 2nd. That would be, hang on a second, let me cycle around here to third. I believe that would be, oh yeah, that's Death Before Dishonor in third. With Stag running in fourth now, Silenced in fifth. Looks like six is Dark Knight and the number 8 machine. Maydale in seventh position. Eighth is the
Possibly
88
some.
of Dunlap.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, and
That was my
ninth,
bad.
ninth is Travesty. He's fallen back quite a bit. He probably took 2 tires under that last caution. And falling back to 10th at this time is KSJ in the number 21 Penske Wood Brothers machine.
Talk about that 6 car. He's now, he just made a pass. He's trying to clear Stag here, get in that 4th spot. So he's moved up quick from that last spot. Well, I'm sure the wrecks helped, but off this restart seems to be making some moves here. He's got cars coming with him too. Dark Knight's behind him, and it looks like he's, well,
Stag
yeah,
still Stag is
racing.
still holding tough. With the downforce on these cars, I would look for the top side to be a huge factor in this race. Last night in the Xfinity Series, unfortunately, it was a one groove racetrack. You might be able to battle side by side for a lap or two under fresh tires, but the inside line was the way to go last night. Clearly, not necessarily the case here tonight. As Silence and Dark Knight
There's a
get in
wreck
together.
on the front stretch. Dark Knight, KSJ,
Ooh.
the 88, the 24, the 12.
I saw
Big
someone.
wreck. There was contact. Dark Knight ended up being the one getting turned because of the contact, and they all just piled up.
Was that Travesty the one that ended up going airborne? It looked like it was. I saw a dark-colored car start to barrel roll down the front stretch going into turn 1 there. But this is the second caution of the night here. Pit strategy, 27 laps on fuel, three times tire wear. Fuel is basically going to be the primary concern here at Dover versus tire wear. As we get set to go back to green flag racing, Sniper is your leader once again with Death Before Dishonor in second. Sniper in third with... No, sorry. Hot Nuts in third with Stag in fourth. Maydale and Silence bringing up roll 3. Oh, massive!
Got the worst of it again.
Oh.
There was contact at 12. Got into the 24. He came up just a tiny bit, and just incidental contact kind of pushed the 24 up high. Somebody else got stacked up, and Dark was in last, and he ended up running in the back of somebody getting turned head on.
Yeah,
so he got the worst of it again.
Biker may have been involved in that incident as well.
Yeah, he was.
A lot of aggressive racing here very early on in this first stage here.
It's, it just seems like we've been talking about, this track is so temperamental and tight that just little incidental contact that you can recover from it. Most other tracks, just it can cause such big problems here with how much little space there is and the speeds that they're going through these corners.
And
A lot of time in these corners, more than you'd think if you just looked at this track without running it.
yeah, you're probably off the gas getting into these corners for at most 2 seconds, depending on how well your car is acting. If your car is handling really well, you might be off the gas for 3/4 of a second to a full second before you're right back in the gas here. Anyway, back underway. It is still Sniper leading Death Before Dishonor and Rev Hot Nuts as we head into turn 3. You know, one thing that we still have not pointed out is Stag gets up into the wall. That's going to allow Silence and King Pile to get around. A little bit of contact a little bit further back. I heard the crashing of metal. But
made my ears perk up.
If I can, I'd like to go on board here with Stag. You'll notice that going into and out of these corners, the transitions of the banking, a lot of that is done on the straightaway, and that creates what a lot of people call a roller coaster effect. up at the top of the track, it acts like there's this hill, which creates a feeling of weightlessness. Not only does the driver feel that, but the car feels that as well, and that can lead to some pretty hair-raising moments should some contact arise. And I'm wondering how much of of the incidents that happened during this race, uh, incidents that already have happened and incidents that might yet happen. I wonder how many of those are caused by that transition going into and out of the corners.
Yeah, it feels pretty weightless. And then then you start gaining speed coming up the corner, and you start feeling all that weight pretty quickly.
Um, I did test a little bit earlier on this evening in the Cup Series here at Dover, and admittedly, I feel very sorry for those driving this track with a controller. It is very, very awkward. If your car gets loose in any way, shape, or form, it is very difficult to recover from that. So those on the controllers are very, very skilled at what they do. If they can hang on to that, geez, that puts you right on the highlight board, almost with Jimmy Johnson in his qualifying spin all the way back in the early 2000s here at Dover International Raceway. Excuse me, Dover Motor Speedway.
I could see that too being a fact, well, not being a fact, but yeah, like what you said, just it definitely makes sense to me. I haven't raced with a controller in a while, but it seems like one of those tracks where most traditional tracks, like let's say a mile track, mile and a half, you know, short tracks, blah blah blah, the tracks we mostly go to, minus the super speedways and road courses and such. You don't want. There's not much room to be. See, this isn't really true, but it's the best way I can kind of put it. It's kind of an exaggeration, but there's not a lot of room at most tracks to kind of really wheel it because you're going to scrub off speed. But here I feel like the way the car, like, I feel like it's very finicky where you can do things as a driver. You know, turning the wheel a certain ways. We got the 22.
Looked like
into the wall
Stag
and spinning.
It looked like Stag was trying to make a move to get around the number 22 machine of Maydale Be With You. I'm not sure if there was an issue with lag or what happened there. But yeah, the 22 machine hard into the outside wall. And it looks like there's going to be another manual caution as Travesty Son. No, this is going to be an in-game caution.
Yeah.
I didn't see whether or not this was the end of the stage, but yeah.
Nope, we got 5 to go right now, so there'll be about, I guess, 2 or 3 to go in the stage. Just to finish my point really quick, I guess I think you can really manhandle these corners if that makes sense. Like you can, there's ways like if your car isn't right, if you're a good driver, you can tackle these corners and manage it. But there's a lot of tracks where it's just kind of if your car ain't right, then you're just going to be slow. So I think there is room if you're a good driver to, make up for how the track is working or how your car is working.
I agree with you there, BNSE. How you drive this racetrack overall as an oval is very different seemingly to how you drive most other ovals. Whereas with tracks like say Texas or Michigan, you can gently arc it in there. But here at Dover, you have to throw this thing in there. Whether it's in the Xfinity Series or the Cup Series or the Truck Series, you basically have to turn into the Hulk and throw yourself around like you're a pinball machine bouncing in between the bumpers.
I mean, I was having some pretty decent laps consistently in practice for about 10 straight laps. We got another wreck. I think that's a 3.
That's a 3 of Stag.
Almost identical to what happened to the 22. Just the way he went up into the wall, hit it kind of broadsided it, and the car just spun around like a top.
Stag is back underway here. Looks like we're going to have a manual. Nope, that's the end of the stage.
That's going to end the stage. Yeah, I believe it's an automatic. Well, no, that was.
Nope, that is the end of the stage. So Sniper is going to end up being your stage 1 winner.
Guy likes Dover, I guess. Picking up right where he left off last night.
Sniper lives outside of Buffalo, New York, who is currently with the city southbound and south of the city of Buffalo and the surrounding areas, currently being hammered by Snowmageddon 2, the second drift. Um, it's just back in 2014, we had that storm that had 77 inches of lake effect snow. We called that Snowmageddon. This one being, I'm referring to it as I just said a moment ago, Snowmageddon 2, the second drift. Looking at potentially anywhere between 50 to 70 inches of snow in certain spots. But we are back to green flag racing here. Trying to cycle around to see who's in the lead. It's not Sniper anymore. It looks like Travistyson in the number 24 machine.
Started in the lead. He was battling the 10 a little bit, though, at first lap or two for it, and then Death kind of crept right under that 10 and took second away. Here comes Death trying to get it from 24. The lead.
Yep. Death making a move on his teammate in the number 5 machine. I imagine that Travesty, while he's going to fight for it, he's not going to fight too hard because Travesty's already locked into the round of 8. His teammate Death, though, he's got to fight his way in yet. Even though he's
really
tied.
That is interesting. I would not expect that.
Remember, we are race number 2 in the round of 12 here.
My mistake.
This is race 2 of 3. Talladega being last week. Oh, car up into the wall. That's Dunlap in the number 88 machine.
Oh, and Biker slid up 2, and he bounced off it twice. Dunlap did, but he had nowhere to, he came down, and Biker slid up right up in the middle. And you hear Biker's frustration on the radio. Can't say what he's saying. It's just one word, but multiple times.
Biker unfortunately had a number of get-togethers with drivers not entirely of his doing, and just it Dover is a track where minor mistakes are magnified.
Exactly.
Honestly, the safest place that you could possibly be is single file, probably a second behind the car in front of you and a second ahead of the car behind you.
Look at this 10 though, Sniper all over that back bumper of the 5 for the lead, and they're starting to pull away from this field. Yep. Travesty again losing some spots off this restart. Just seems like he's got to get that thing dialed in a little bit here maybe. I saw him get loose a couple times off the corner, and yeah, see, here's the thing, we're watching him now. Looks like he's having trouble keeping it down. At least now. I don't know, maybe he tightened it up. I'm just going to start speculating here. Don't want to do that. Have no idea what's going on with the car. Well, definitely losing some spots here.
Well, that's what we do here in broadcasting. We speculate. We come up with our own points of views. It could very well be that, yes, he is loose, and he tried to tighten it up a little bit and maybe went a little bit too far, or maybe made the wrong adjustment. Maybe the adjustment that he's looking for he can't quite do, simply because the lack of adjustments that he can make in this car. You remember, in NASCAR Heat 5, the only adjustments that you can make are tire pressures, as well as tape, wedge, and that's it. The only other thing that you can adjust even outside of the pits is your driving line.
Clip that wall and getting a little wobbly here. Just definitely not handling the way he wants it to right now.
Definitely not. So let's cycle back around. Death Before Dishonor is still your leader with Sniper Z71 hot on his heels. We're going to hop on board and look back at Sniper Z71 as Death Before Dishonor leads this pack. Now coming off of turn 2, Sniper's taking a look. Not able to do anything this time off of 2. But he is still right there. Any mistake that Death Before Dishonor can make, Sniper is there to capitalize. And right now, I think Sniper has the fastest car between the two of these guys.
I tell you what, I would not disagree with that, but they look very evenly matched. Ooh, man, a little bad, not a bad corner. That's definitely
See,
not the term, but
see,
that lost a little there on that turn. The 10 did.
See, that just goes to show you what a little mistake can do for you. That was 3 car lengths lost by Sniper just for drifting up a little bit too high coming off of turn 2.
And you know who's creeping in there a little bit here? That 8 car.
Yep, that's
Dark
right.
Knight.
Dark Knight in the number 8 Childress Vineyards Richard Childress Racing Machine. He is the team captain. And I believe that I don't remember whether or not the team captains had been announced yet. I'd heard some speculation saying, "Oh yeah, this guy's going to be the captain of this team next year." I at this time I don't know who's going to be captain and who isn't going to be at this time. Well, it's something uh, that we'll have to get information for in the coming weeks. Remember, once again, we are off next week in observation of Thanksgiving. We'll take a week off, and then we will go to Chicagoland, where we will complete the round of 12, and then race the first race in the round of 8. We might be able to do the second race. I'd have to check out the schedule in the round of 8, but yeah, after that, after those races, we'll take a couple weeks off in observation of Christmas as well as New Year's, and then finish out the championship with those final 2 or 3 races.
10 given a. You're gonna see it here. I'm a little.
I saw
a little bump.
I saw the bumper there. Dark Knight is there as well.
There,
Dark Knight on the
almost got under that
inside.
quarter panel. Oh, a little bit of contact.
3 very strong cars at the front of this field, racing hard. Little bit of argy-bargy going on as Death Before Dishonor tries to run away from Dark Knight and Sniper. He's up to probably 5 or 6 car lengths as they come off of turn 2 down the backstretch heading into turn 3.
I mentioned the term manhandling back there. Now I guess that's in my brain because he just manhandled it back there. Not back there. Past that 10 car. That was some. Whew.
I'd say that might be a little bit more than manhandling there.
Well, the bump, yeah, I forgot about the bump, but he was the corners after that, or what I'm referring to. He was like right on that corner paddle, and he kept it clean, but he did not give an inch, and he forced that 10 car up. But yeah, there was a little tap, a little love tap there.
Well, remember there is a fine line between rubbing as racing and using another person up, and I'd say that was well within the means of rubbing as racing there between Dark Knight and Sniper.
For sure.
So Death Before Dishonor continues to lead. Dark Knight is closing in on the back of the 5 machine. With Sniper getting up in the wall now, he'll fall back a little bit, but not too far. So
big cushion there behind him. These guys are really pulled away.
Oh, we have a caution. Caution on the speedway. And it looks like it is going to be a manual caution here.
It is now an automatic. I'm watching Hot Nut stream. They are under an automatic yellow.
Ah, okay. Someone must have run over someone else.
Yeah, that's what I don't think it was initially, but eventually the yellow came out.
So, going into this caution here, Death Before Dishonor leads Dark Knight and Sniper Z71, your top 3, with Stag in 4th, Rev Hot Nuts in 5th, Silence in 6th, Maydale Be With You in 7th, Travesty 8th, KSJ 9th, and Pile in 10th, as we get ready for the restart here. Still in stage number 2 at this time, as Death Before Dishonor leads the field back to green. We'll follow Dark Knight here on the top side. Sniper there in the 10 car on the bottom with Stag and the white car on top. That's 4th spot. He almost gets up in the wall. He has to drop back, and he'll yield the position to the 9 of Hot Nuts. You know, I have a hard time deciding what I love more. Watching a race at Dover or racing a race at Dover. This track is just
Like I
so much
said, I
fun.
love this track. Oh, Pyle wrecked again. I don't know what happened now.
Okay,
Biker, Dunlap, and KSJ are all caught up in it. They all spun and hit
yep,
something.
yep, I advanced it just in time to watch Biker go down in the inside wall, KSJ and Dunlap spinning around. Tough break here, so that's
I'm
this.
almost positive Pyle lost it on his own. Whatever happened, I think. Well,
This
yeah,
again.
he said something about his front end, and maybe I think he might have said someone caught his front end and set him down. It looked to me like he got loose, but he ended up spinning, and then sorry to cut you off, but yeah,
No,
he ended up
no, it's
spinning, and
fine.
the rest got caught.
The racing groove here at Dover Motor Speedway is just so narrow. The entrances and exits of these corners with those little hills there kind of acts like a funnel. All the cars kind of merge together at the same spot, and
That's a great way to put it. Funnel.
if uh, if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, you know, incidents like that between King Pyle and someone else, whoever might have gotten up into this front corner as Dunlap gets into the inside wall.
That 22
Maydale's
of
around as
Maydale.
well.
Oh, he's around now? Ooh, I was just going to say, he was really pushing in that first corner. We haven't talked about him at all, except when he's been pushing in the corner. We're so used to seeing him up front, it looks like he's also having some serious handling issues so far tonight.
Maydale be with you in the Pennzoil Ford Mustang, struggling here tonight, as is Dunlap. Not sure entirely what's going on with Maydale. I wonder if part of it might be a slight lag issue. Unfortunately, he has been suffering from some lagging issues during the Xfinity and the Cup Series races. Hopefully, that sorts itself out, or whoever is in charge there with his internet service provider can get that straightened out.
Well,
So
to be honest, I mean, he has been out of. It seems like the only issues he's involved in are kind of. I mean, not to sound harsh, but his own. I mean, he's staying when he's going. He's not really causing problems for anyone else. So from what we can see, I mean, what we've seen is him really getting very high. As Dunlap just got shoved up by somebody straight into the wall.
yeah, unfortunately, once again, this track just having such a narrow groove that if you aren't in the right spot without someone being in the spot that you want to be in, you know, you're going to be
It
sent up
really
in
just
that
pushes.
wall.
The car can just push at any moment. It feels like, at least as a driver to me, I'm sure there's a science behind it where you can figure it out, but I'm not smart enough. We got a big wreck guy almost
Jeez,
flipped over the 12.
that look. Oh yeah, visceral killer.
Got some wheels off the ground there. Big hit.
I'm wondering if
Pyle
visceral.
apologized and said it was his fault, whatever happened.
I'm wondering if
Some contact.
Visceral's
laughing.
also suffering from internet woes here tonight at Dover Motor Speedway. So that's caution number 6 on the night.
Well, Killer said on the radio when Pyle said, sorry, it's my fault, he said, no, it's not your fault, it's Dover's fault. So yeah, this track is really, we're seeing a lot of great, fast drivers here tonight. This track, it's almost like, now that I'm talking about it right now, like in the moment, I'm thinking to myself, it's kind of like a sleeper track here. Like we're in, the middle of a round, second of 3 races, and I didn't expect to see so many, top guys, so to speak, struggling the way we are here. This track is really just beating some people up so far.
There's a reason why they call this track the Monster Mile. Miles of Monster, definitely snacking on a number of cars here in the Hammer Down Cup Series race. So we are back underway. Dark Knight leads. Death Before Dishonor running in second, trying to hold off Sniper and Rev Hot Nuts as they head through 3 and 4 now. Geez, it's so hard to keep track of everyone in this field. The field just runs so close together in lap times that that it's just so easy to get in each other's bubble. And these guys just have to be careful and check up as Sniper gets up into the wall, trying to stay after Rev Hot Nuts there. But I mean, it's like there's not enough space to be able to do what you want to do at this racetrack. Even though you look at it and you see how wide it is, it just
Yep.
it's just such
Exactly.
an intense and scary racetrack that you can't help but love it. As we've
I've
got,
actually been here a few times, twice in person. It's one of, I'm not close to any tracks really, but this would be like one of 2 or 3 home tracks that I would say, and it's a really fun race to watch
I
in
would
person, for sure.
love, I would absolutely love to attend a race here at Dover Motor Speedway. I'm not
It's
sure if I
fun,
would
just
want to
don't go
sit.
when there's rain in the forecast, because that's what we did. Me and my father did it the first time. Had to sleep there for a Monday morning race. I tell you what, you gotta, there's business that has to be done in the morning, and there's only so many portable receptacles, I guess you could say. Boy, if you're at the,
I suppose.
I've never seen such a disgust in a porta potty in my life as what I saw that Monday morning. About a couple
Well,
100,000 people spending the night.
um,
But it
I,
was a fun race, man. Both races I went to here, really fun.
I would probably plan on having a hotel at the ready,
There's a
just to stay
hotel there, I
overnight.
think, on the backstretch, right?
I think that's
There's a
just.
hotel right on the premise.
It,
I don't
it,
know if it's a view,
it's.
if you could see it.
I believe it is at least is a casino. I'm not sure if it's a hotel too,
There is a
I think it
casino. I
is.
think it's a hotel too. Yeah, yeah, there it is, right there. Well, I'm on my screen.
So Dark Knight continues to be your leader. He's hounded very fitfully by Death Before Dishonor there. That's the battle for the lead. Then there's a little bit of a gap back to third place. I believe that is Sniper in the number 10 machine. And you cycle around to him here. Stag running in the fourth spot with Rev Hot Nuts in fifth. Silence, he's quietly snuck his way back up into the sixth spot. But then
Possibly
again,
an issue with the one of Biker since we went green. He's lost a lot of ground on the pack. I mean, I don't even see multiple camera angles. I can't even see any other cars around him here.
let me try and cycle around here. It looks like he may have gotten hard into the wall. The car's definitely acting like he may have drifted up the racetrack and maybe slammed the wall on corner exit there. And as we keep saying, this track is just so unforgiving.
Tight coming out.
And I followed Biker, and he gets up into the outside wall once again.
Ooh,
So
yeah, he did.
Biker struggling here at Dover, Delaware.
24 has spun on the front stretch here. Looks like caution maybe. He's slow. He gets passed by Biker now. So yeah, that 24 travesty really one of those guys that's fast but really seems to be struggling with the grip and handling right now.
So I've climbed on board with the number 9 of Rev Hot Nuts, and frankly, I think that the third person view, the trailing or the chase cam, really does a better job of doing it justice. Just how much of a transition there is coming into and going into and coming out of the corners here at Dover. Just one great big hill on each end of each corner. It's just remarkable how these cars do not spin out every single time.
I'll tell you what. I'll try to make this quick. I've heard guys talk about. I don't know how somebody drives a wheel in third person like that. I just don't. It just seems so like unnatural to me. I like to run with the roof cam. I would run the cockpit, but I like to see the car. Plus, the cockpit's fucking hard, but I like to see a little bit of the car at least. But man, I tried it in a practice session running that third person, and after a lap, I was like, nope. Seeing what my rear end was doing was like, whoa, no, I don't even want to see that. I could feel it enough, and that's it. I don't know how it freaks me out too much. It started making me think like, man, like I wonder what people are seeing that are racing behind me. Like, am I making them nervous? Like, man, that thing. I like a loose car, so.
I actually am a guy who likes to use the third person with my Thrustmaster T150. It's more of a safety sort of thing, but I've also
Yeah.
always run third person ever since I was a wee lad growing up in the late 90s playing NASCAR 98, NASCAR 99, Gran Turismo, those sorts of games. I've always used the rear chase view. It's just something that I've become comfortable with. My first real interaction with the in-car cam wasn't until iRacing, when I got that back in 2012 as Biker kind of holding up Death Before Dishonor and Stag
Yeah,
here.
Death Before Dishonor seems to be maybe that was what it was, but Biker kind
10's
of
around,
there and
it looks like the 10 is flipping. And I think that is going to be a full course caution.
Yeah, I was about to say, it looked like Death Before Dishonor was kind of losing. I mean, he had to have been losing ground because I mentioned how Biker was so far behind the pack, maybe 15 laps ago or so, and then there, like, all of a sudden we're watching and Death Before Dishonor is trying to pass him. So, man, a lot of these fast guys here. This track is giving them. I don't want to repeat myself, but track just seems to be giving. We just add to the list of guys that we know have fast cars and, you know, are the at, you know, the top of the series just seem to not on these longer runs. The longer the runs, it seems like the more fast guys start having issues.
I think Miles is having the time of his life with the Hammer Down Cup Series squad tonight. As we get set to go back to Green Flag Racing, Miles the Monster. You know, Monster Mile.
Yeah, right.
So, looks like Richard Childress Racing, leading the Hammer Down Racing Cup Series into turns 1 and 2. It's going to be Dark Knight leading Stag, with Death Before Dishonor there taking a look down on the inside of Stag. Not happening this time. Silenced had to check up there as he battled for 4th spot with the 22 of Maydale Be With You. Good to see Maydale back up there. King Piles up there as well, as he's trying to hold off very unfruitfully, I might add. But Rev Hotnuts just blew the doors off of the 10 the 14 and the 22 there, coming off of turn 4 last time by.
You know, I just want to correct myself because I realized it right after I made the statement just now about Death falling back. I for some reason, I didn't even think that Biker was probably losing a lap to him, so that's my mistake.
Biker does kind of sort of pride himself as being the Ryan Newman of the Hammer Down Cup Series.
Does, yeah.
I
just thought for some reason, it didn't occur to me that he might have been going a lap down to Death. So I feel bad for saying, oh, Death's falling back, but no, he's one of the leaders, right. So that's my fault.
You know, I say that he's the Ryan Newman of Hammer Down, but I don't think that he would purposefully try and hold these guys up in such a way that an accident like that happens. I think that was just, you know, racing here at Dover. It's just, you have to be so patient, so forgiving of each other that any little mistake, I've said it multiple times during this broadcast, any little mistake that happens at this racetrack has big consequences.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, you've said it so many times before. There's really no room to, I mean, you know, you're a lap down, but it's the second stage. You know, you got Tom. I mean, he had just gone a lap. He's got a race. You know, he can't just move out of the way for the whole field and give up. I mean, that's if you're going to do that, then why'd you start the race? So,
exactly.
What's his other option? Move all the way up to the high side and just, you know, lose 2 seconds of time? I mean, it's just one of those things where, I mean, Biker is definitely he's a fun guy to race. I really enjoy racing with him. I get my my temper gets a little out of hand because that's just the way. But you know, listen, I'm a guy. like you mentioned earlier, Rubbin's racing. So I think he's a good driver, a good guy, more importantly, and and he's aggressive, and he ain't gonna give you nothing, no matter what it is, easily. But
Maybe
in
it's a
this
good thing.
situation, like you said, it's definitely better than the alternative, being passive. I mean, you race to win, right? Or you race to
Yeah.
win at least as best you can that day.
And because of your frustration, while the Xfinity Series race wasn't anything like what the Cup Race Series is looking like right now, maybe it's a good thing that you did end up missing last night, because there were some situations that were pretty frustrating, especially when there was that accident during green flag pit stops there in stage one that trapped so many of us multiple laps down, and we all had to claw our way back um, just to get back on the lead lap. Some of us
Yeah,
unsuccessfully.
I tell you what, I'm never happy about missing a race, especially, I need to do all the points I can get. I got a lot of fast guys out there that are probably going to beat me for the championship, but, you never know what can happen, and every race counts. So it's disappointing that I wasn't able to make it last night, for sure, and I would have, but at the same time, yeah, I am. And on top of that, like I said earlier, this is one of those, like I was mentioning earlier, you see these guys that are so good and fast, they know how to drive the track, but just the way the track is tonight, or whatever it is, having trouble. And I tell you what, I was so looking forward to coming to this track, and after about 5 laps of the first practice I ran this week, I was dreading the race because I just could not get this thing figured out this week. So,
Like
yeah, you're
I
probably
said,
right. I may have missed more stress than I needed, but I want to be out there racing, man. But, yeah.
back to the Cup Series race. I'm following Sniper as he and Maydale are trying to work together to catch back up to the lead pack. The next car ahead of them being the number 6 machine of Silenced, with Death Before Dishonor just ahead of him. Sniper holding on to the 5th position currently, with Maydale Be With You running in 6th. This is a pretty good battle going on right now. I watched Sniper make his way from the 9th position, 4th car in line there, work his way up through the pack, and now leading that pack and gaining on the 6 of Silenced and the 5 of Death Before Dishonor, as Stag and Dark Knight continue to run away from the rest of the pack. Right now, 2 guys that are probably the class of this field, Sniper in the number 10 machine, as he gets up in the wall, the broadcaster's curse still going strong, and Dark Knight in the number 8 machine. He is incredibly fast. If I were to cycle around to him, I'm pretty sure that I won't be able to immediately see second place in the view. And yeah, sure enough, probably a good 6 to 8 car lengths in between first and second there, as they go through the corners here at Dover Motor Speedway. Still in stage 2, I believe. Once again, these cars with the 3 times tire wear, pit stops should be every 27 laps for when it comes to fuel. There is a rule in this league where you can save up to 2 laps of fuel, but I can almost guarantee you that you would have to be going significantly slowly in order to be able to save those 2 extra laps. So at most you could probably do 29 laps in a stint, but I almost guarantee that with the pace that these guys are doing, nobody's saving right now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You'll end up losing a lap. I would guess. I'm not a fuel saving expert. I'm definitely not good enough to try to ever try that. But well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe if I had like the right setup at the right track in the situation. But yeah, I can't imagine that it's worth it even trying at this track. 9 all over the 88 and watching the 88 here.
And it looks like we are coming down to the end of the stage here, as Dark Knight, I believe he is on his final lap here in stage number 2. So it's Oh, and oh wait, nope, never mind. King Pile is in the pits,
Yeah,
so
he's been
maybe
having
that
really
isn't.
low.
Oh
Ooh,
no,
the
that is
six
the
and the
stage.
six caught the wall, and the 9 ran into him. We should have a caution here. 6 on the front stretch looked like he came off. I guess he came off of turn 4 loose, but just past the start finish line, he ended up head on the wall, and the 9 was there and drove right into him. You can
Nope,
see right there,
that
21 was
was in
also involved.
fact the end of stage number 2. So Death Before Dishonor wins stage 2
Oh,
with
oh, I'm sorry.
or no, sorry, Dark Knight wins stage 2 with Stag, Death Before Dishonor, Sniper, and May Dale Be With You, bringing up the top 5. I'm wondering if uh, Silenced and King Pile misjudged their fuel window. Maybe didn't pit during that um, last set of pit stops during the recent cautions that we had, and just paying the price, having to pit during the last couple of laps
And you
of
mentioned it.
stage
It's hard to
two.
keep up. It's hard. I keep. Oh, Pyle off the restart, head on to the wall. Did he
I'm
forget
not
to
sure.
shift?
I'm not
The
sure if that
14
was a
just
game
the
glitch or
field went.
what.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. Huh? Getting up to. He doesn't know either. He has no clue.
There have been some interesting things going on with NASCAR Heat 5 lately. I wonder if that's
Huh?
one of those things that you just kind of have to scratch your head, shrug your shoulders, and move on. Tough break for
Man, and
the.
now he's up into the wall in the middle of 3 and 4.
I don't like the looks of this here. Yep,
He's
yep.
out.
I think he's having some technical glitches
Oh man.
that he needs to sort through. Tough break, and we both
Yeah.
were hopeful that he'd have a
I
really good
gotta stop
race.
saying that. I gotta stop saying I hope Pyle has a good race because
Oh,
I think I'm his jinx.
oh, little bit of contact. Silence is up in the wall. Travisy's up in the wall
Oh
in
yeah,
turn 2
silence
as
is
well.
around. Silence went around. Oh no, never mind. I thought he I thought he ended up
Well,
keeping it straight.
what happened was farther up in the pack, Death Before Dishonor and another car got together that forced a line of cars that were behind them, a train essentially. They had to check
Caution's
up.
out. They're calling caution.
All right, so manual caution here at the line. So everyone will race back to the start finish line. Anyone that's basically the lucky dot. Oh,
Oh man, mayhem, calamity, as you would like to
Calamity.
say.
Yep, people
Turn
are
one.
just slowing down way too quickly. Granted, this track is sm pretty small, um, and the goal is to pit the very next lap so that we can get back going as quickly as possible. But when situations like that happen, maybe these guys just need to let themselves coast and maybe start to slow down coming off turn 2 down the backstretch. But
I tell you
and that'll
what.
bring out actual in-game caution.
Why do I keep saying I tell you what? That's like becoming my catchphrase tonight. That's like it sounds like I was born in 1940 something. But
Okay, Mr. Hill.
these guys these guys got me laughing the way they're laughing at what just happened. I mean, I really think, and I don't want to. I'm almost hesitant to say this because I don't want to take away like the competitive edge and the seriousness of these guys because that's always there. But it's almost like a part of them is kind of resigned to like this is just one of those races, man. It's one of those tracks and one of those nights where that's the stuff that's happening and like it's almost like they're kind of resigning to it. Like let's just enjoy it and try to get through it as best we can.
I'm sure a few expletives are being thrown around here and there. I saw
Oh yeah.
Visceral in the 12 machine get up in the wall, but he's going to continue on as we get back to Green Flag Racing with is that the 10 machine back out front? The number 10 of Sniper in the Go Bowling Ford Mustang, the throwback Ford Mustang. Back out in front with Dark Knight in second. That's Stag in third. May Dale Be With You once again with a strong run in the fourth spot. KSJ in fifth as
Stag's losing it. Oh, it's up into the 22 and the 21 gets caught.
Oh
Oh, and
my
the
gosh.
three went about 80 feet into the air and landed on his wheels. Never
Massive,
flipped or
massive
anything.
wreck.
That was the
Uh,
most improbable form of physics that you'll ever see. The three, the
I,
three went up into the air, and the car never wobbled or anything. It just stayed straight and then landed right back on its wheels.
and I
But that was,
believe, I
man,
believe that puts us into double digits as far as cautions are concerned for
I'm
tonight.
sure it does. The three got loose coming out of two. He went all the way to the bottom of the track and then lost it, came back up into the 12. That caused that whole thing.
So
I
we
don't know. So
are,
I'm not. I don't know if you guys saw it on the
so
stream. I was
we
watching it.
are within 70 laps, um, left in the race. With 27 laps per fuel run, you're still looking at two good fuel runs, two good pit stops before the end of this race. So
And they are
that's something to
literally
think
saying
about.
Hail Marys. They are literally saying Hail Marys on the driver run.
Oh, I'm sure everyone is saying Our Fathers and Hail Marys. There's one other prayer that I'm not familiar with when it comes to Catholic prayer. I could have swore there was another one in there.
I can't. Those are the two I know off the top of my head. But they literally were saying Hail Mary. They were saying the full Hail Mary prayer. I'm not sure who it was, but they were saying
But yeah, we are back underway here. Sniper still leading Dark Knight in the number 8 machine. Rev Hot Nuts back up there in third. Death Before Dishonor in fourth.
talking about Biker's aggressiveness earlier. He might be getting a little frustrated with the way things have kind of played out here. He just ran into the back of the 21 in the corner. He was all over him for a while.
Well,
But Biker kind of made a statement, like when not a statement, but he made a comment during that calamity, as we described it, under that caution. Like it was something about like don't slow down, don't brake. Like we saw him just barely squeeze through that, and you know, I'm sure a guy like that who's getting caught up in things, you know, doesn't appreciate it. Not doesn't appreciate, but it's got to be frustrating. So and here's a wreck.
Oh, another wreck.
Big one.
That was started by the 21 machine as he got up hard in the outside wall, collected his teammate Visceral Killer, Travesty Son involved, Bikers involved as well. Just you know, again, that's Dover. That's the risk that you run when you race at this racetrack. Again, with that funnel effect, not only going into but coming out of the corners, and you're living on you're basically running that fine line of being safe and being in the line of fire without even realizing it. And half the time you are a victim of circumstance when it comes to racing at Dover Motor Speedway. So back to green flag racing once again.
We haven't mentioned it in a while. Let's remember there are playoffs are on the line here. We mentioned Biker being aggressive and maybe, you know, getting a little frustrated with things that are happening around him because, you know, he's been stuck in the back. And I'm sure, you know, we've seen things where it wasn't anybody else's fault, but regardless, he's stuck in the back and trying to make his way up and things just aren't getting sorted out. It could be frustrating. Well, he's in 11th in points right now. There's after well, not next week, but the next race, only 8 guys are going to move on, and he's 11th. So this, you know, it means something to these guys, and there's guys out there who it means more to, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do know what you're saying. With King Pyle's retirement, I believe that is actually going to bump him back to the 11th spot in this round of 12. KSJ and Biker, as we have mentioned, they're not having very good races so far. As yet another caution has come out onto the speedway. Visceral Killer involved. Looks like Travesty Son as well. Maydale. Yeah, that's Maydale on the 22 machine, also back there. So, yeah, trouble continues to happen around this 1 mile. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. Around this 1 mile concrete battlefield at this point. Or should I say, monster's lair, because Miles the monster, he's having a ball. He's throwing cars around left and right, and these drivers are getting frustrated. So it's all about having that patience and being able to let yourself survive until the end of this
Aggressive
race.
move right there. Who is that? The 10 sniper ducking down before the corner. 3 didn't look like of Stag. Didn't look like he was back in that third row. Didn't look like he got a good jump, and the 10 wasting no time capitalizing before turn 1, diving down and getting that inside lane. Now he's up there, over third.
And Stag is able to push the 9 of Rev Hot Nuts up. That will allow Stag to move up into the 5th position, and now Stag is able to clear for 4th spot, getting around another car as cars getting out into the wall back towards the back of the pack here.
Sniper's going to go for 2nd here under the 6.
Gonna ride on the roof
Sniper,
here with...
we really haven't had time to talk about him because there's been so many wrecks, but for a while there, I don't think he was up there in that top 2 or 3. It was kind of dark in death, right? And now he's
it was
here. Really good restart by Sniper.
Up until this last caution, it was Sniper leading Dark Knight.
Man, I'm so off tonight. I apologize.
No.
That's like the 8th big mistake I've made. But I mean, listen, it's been such a chaotic race. I think we're just, we're kind of, the drivers are in the same situation we are, man. We're just kind of, it's a chaotic up here.
Teammates getting into each other. Visceral Killer may have gotten out of shape coming off of turn 4 there, and now may Dale be with you. I'm riding on board with KSJ, but coming off of turn 4 there, it looked like Visceral Killer may have gotten out of shape. He tried to collect it, got up into the 21 of KSJ, and just shoved him right up in the outside wall. Granted, Visceral did check up once again, but 21 car still having a tough time of it. But yeah, it looks like Dunlap, even though he's right on the cut line, looks like he will be able to move on if things finish how they are here at Dover Motor Speedway.
These top 3 pretty evenly spread out here, about 5 car lengths or so in between all of them. Stag was getting a run there. Oh, he's getting a run here. He's getting good runs off the corner of turn 4. Got a big one.
Oh!
Onto that 2nd place car of 10, but
Biker
it seems like he's got a better exit. Oops, sorry.
A little bit further back, Biker got up into the wall, and he got into the 5
got the
of
wall,
death
and the
before
3's going for 2nd.
Sorry,
man. I'm not trying to cut you off. Just so much going on at once.
Yep,
the 3's under the 10 here. The 10 got the wall on the backstretch and gave an opening to the 3, but he's fighting off. 10's really fighting good off that high side. 10's got a really good... It seems like the 3's gaining on him on the very exit, but every other part of the track, it seems like the 10 is faster, but he got a good run there too, the 3.
I think the 10 has a better car overall, not just
I would agree.
Getting through the exit or getting through the corners, but
I'm just
he's
saying
even
right
got
now
a better
the 3
car
is...
in the long haul car.
I agree, but the 3 right now is really seems to be gaining on him on these exits and keeping it close, and it's putting what it's doing. The reason I'm pointing out is it's putting pressure on that 10 here as I'm watching them go around here. And the 10 is like he's getting right on that bumper of the 3, and it's not, you can't run the line you really want to when you got that. When you got a guy coming up on you at least once a lap and a half or so, it makes it very difficult to get your car to perform at exactly 100%.
So we are
maybe you can get it to 99.9, but man, when you got a guy on you like that, closing in your mirror every lap, it's just hard to drive, in my opinion.
I agree, and
more difficult.
I believe we are at the point where there's going to be a pit stop. If this goes green to the end, guys will be pitting at the halfway point of this run, maybe trying to see how far they can go. And
like they got about
try and give themselves a fresh tires to go. But 15 laps of fuel.
That's
so
what
then
there's
still gonna be 2 pit stops. Because
do we know exactly how many laps are? Do we have?
I'm watching Dark Knight stream, and his stream is about a lap and a half behind ours. So I would say there's probably coming to 40 laps to go this time by.
God, which might seem like a lot, but go
And
by in a
it's
blink of
it's
an eye
it's
here.
it's right on the edge of having to pit twice versus having to
Yeah,
pit
that's.
once.
I'll tell you what. If we there I go again. Why do I keep saying that, man? I don't say that normally. Like that's not part of my vocabulary, but when I do the broadcast, it is. I'm trying to think of like what announcer says that all the time that I probably
Beanizzy,
pick that up from.
Beanizzy, just
But
accept it. That's who you are,
yeah, I know,
bud.
I got it right. But well, now I forgot what I was gonna say.
I tell you what.
Yeah, and I can't tell you what. I forgot.
So anyway, I'm watching this battle for second between Stag and Sniper, and
Stat got it while I was rambling.
yeah, these guys are just going back and forth. It looks like they're having a blast out there. In the meantime, that white and black number 8 machine, it's just getting further and further away. So I think these guys, if they can help it, just need to sort themselves out, run nose to tail. Maybe get
Hard to
themselves
do here, man.
to green flag pit stops and see where it goes from there.
It's hard to push somebody to a track like this without wrecking one or both of you. But exact like it's a pick your poison type situation.
Well,
Try to work with him and risk a problem and costing you a lot more time, or try to pass him and let that guy pull away. Because this is one of those tracks where both are just so it's like two extremes. Because this is a track where racing side by side, the guy in front of you, it really, as much as any track, I feel like more than a lot of them, it makes it easier for that guy to pull away.
Well, here's a term that I'd like to bring up from NASCAR and announcing great Darrell Waltrip. Co-opetition. You've got to work together to help yourself get to a spot where you need to be to get the win. As Visceral Killer looks like he wrecked coming off of turn 4, and it looks like there's going to be a manual caution coming up here. And that was with about 36 laps to go. So we're going to have a green flag, or we're going to have a pit stop here under manual caution. Once again, it's a quickie yellow. Everyone comes down pit road. If you're a lap down, you're able to take your lucky dog. Come down pit road the next time by. Do your thing in pit road, and then come right back out and join at the back of the field. Hopefully in time to get set for the restart. But yeah, everyone's gonna come down pit road, get their 4 tires, top off with fuel. Yeah, 36 laps to go as they come down pit road here before they cross the start-finish line. So when they come back around, assuming that everyone is still on the lead lap, there will be 35 laps left in this 200-lap race. This is the one race the entire season that not only the Cup Series, but the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series are all running the same distance.
Wow,
at the racetrack.
Really?
Yeah.
That's actually that actually I'm happy I heard that. For some reason that is very interesting to me.
I might be wrong about that, but I'm like 95% sure that
200 miles.
that the distance for all 3 of these series is 200 miles, 200 laps.
I believe there's 2 Xfinity races on this game. I believe one is 300, but I'm almost positive that we ran the one main finance. Yeah, I'm positive we ran an Xfinity, or you guys ran an Xfinity.
But all series
Trucks,
running the same distance.
Trucks is 200 too. Oh yeah, all other tracks. I don't know.
Yep.
That's why I found it interesting, because if that's the case, then yeah. But
back to green flag racing. Dark Knight leads heading off into turn 1. Stag in second with Sniper in third. May Dale be with you right there in the Pennzoil Ford.
Sorry about that. Thought there might have been a problem. 21 got the wall just barely. Thought it might have, because he came down into the 88, but he got the 88 just as lightly as got the wall, so no problem.
Putting it bluntly, that's a restart at Dover.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And they're still very close there. The 21 finally clears him though. Back there for, I believe, 7th maybe. Ooh, but the 21 gets the wall down into the 5. That's Death. And there's a wreck back there now.
Yep, I see that.
12 is on pit road. He might have legged out. Death is wrecked hard. Yeah, he got hit. The 21 got the wall coming off the corner, came down and just, ooh, man, by a couple inches, barely clipped that right front fender of the 5 with his left rear. And
massive damage to the Chevy Goods Camaro of Death Before Dishonor. And we are still under green. Some way, somehow.
The 12 was on pit. Yeah, the 12 seems to have lagged out or something. Cause he's done.
I'm not sure if he's lagged out or if he has voluntarily parked it. But yeah, Visceral Killer, unfortunately, out of this race. Visceral Killer's another one of those guys who's unfortunately had a tough season.
Yeah, he is one of those guys like Pyle that's extremely fast. I mean, I ran with those guys in, just not many times, but I've seen the speed those guys got and what they can do with a car, and I haven't been here long, so I've just unfortunately but at least Visceral Killer has definitely, when I first came here, he was one of those dominant guys.
Don't get me wrong, Visceral Killer was very excited for his chances coming into this season. He felt like with the car that he had ran in the past 2 seasons, being the number 10 in the Haas garage, he believed that car, for whatever reason, was cursed, and it just wasn't as fast as all the other cars in the Haas stables. So he came over to Penske Racing. In fact, I think he was the captain this season. He came over to the Penske stables and took the 12 and was about darned and determined to prove that it was all the 10 car. He's going to come out and contend for wins each and every single week. Now, don't get me wrong. He's been fast week in and week out. But luck just hasn't been on his side this entire season. And frankly, my heart breaks for Visceral Killer and King Pyle, because they've had such fast cars. They just unfortunately can't piece together a race to save their lives at this point.
Yeah, it is just so hard to be. These races are so long, even though the Cup races, they run at 50%, even that is so long. It's so hard you have to be so consistent and precise every single lap. And on top of that, like you said, most of what's going on with those guys is luck and stuff that they're just getting caught up in. So it's hard enough to be consistent and run your race. But, and to do that, that's just one race. Week in and week out, guys are going to go through stretches where, I mean, look at the pros in real life. Look, I'm watching the 24 here. Jeff Gordon won his last championship in 2001. Never won another one, even though he was still. Would anyone deny that those last decade?
His last one under
decade, he was great. I mean,
his last championship under the old format was 2001. Yeah. I believe that
Jimmy
if
Johnson,
he would
look at the end of his career.
If he would have kept. If NASCAR would have kept that old format, I believe that Jeff Gordon would have had at minimum 6 championships, and Jimmy Johnson would probably be.
He would have had 7.
Jimmy Johnson would probably have 3 or 4.
Yeah, don't even get me started on that, because I've seen the math done. Yep, exactly. There's so many things like that though in racing. But the point I'm making is that, I mean, those 2 examples are guys at the end of their careers. But the point I'm making is all these guys are good, man. You could be the best of the best, but you're gonna have stretches at times where just nothing goes your way, and that just seems to be what's going on with those guys. Is the point I'm trying to make.
Well, as soon as I can, as soon as we can, I'm gonna get a lap count here. Once again, Dark Knight's stream is a bit behind what we are watching right now. Looks like as they come to the line here, they're going to be right around 20 laps to go. So here's a thought, Benisi. You have a couple different options here. We're right in the window where you can pit one more time and be good to go. The question that I have for you, do you risk it and pit now and say you're good and pray that there's not a caution? Or do you stay out as long as you can, pit as late as you can, and if it does go green, risk losing ground to someone who has pitted earlier? Which do you do?
Man, I hate to do this because, like, I really do love the essence of announcing, and this is like the worst as an announcer answer to give, but it's the answer I'm probably going to give.
Well, put on your racer strategy.
See, the thing is, I can't because it depends where I am and what's going on with my car at any track, really. I mean, except maybe, man. See, at least this track, a track like this, I can't. I don't know because it really. I'm not. First of all, I'm not some type of strategy expert. I'm not the best at that. In fact, I'm actually very good at messing up and forgetting how much fuel I have and stuff like that. So, like, I'm like the opposite. But even, like, I just, it really. I have a very specific. Here they go. They're pitting.
Yeah,
I have a very
we do have
specific
guys
rule.
pitting.
Like, if when in doubt, I try to cut it in half. But there's also, like, are we having a lot of cautions? Like, do I think there's going to be, like, there's just so many, I don't have a crew chief when I'm out there. None of us do. So, like, I have to be my own crew chief, and I have to there's so many things to take into account that, like, I don't know how these guys' cars are handling, or, we don't have positions where I can, like, if I'm the, I don't even know how many laps there are right now, man. If I was better prepared, I can give a better answer.
There's probably 15 laps to go as we speak.
At that point, at this track,
make that 14.
A short track like this, I'm probably staying out. That would be my, like, first inclination. But again, like, that totally depends on a million different things, where I am in the field.
I'm going to agree with you, and that was probably my fatal flaw from the race last night in the Xfinity Series. I have this rule where at certain tracks, I try to pit as early as I can and to take advantage of fresh tires. But at short tracks, I stay out as long as I can so that I don't get trapped a lap down. And I made the mistake of pitting earlier with guys who I trusted were fast and who I thought were probably making a very good decision. So I pitted a couple laps after that. And shortly after I came back out of the pits, I was trapped 2 laps down. And I wished that I could have stayed on the racetrack so that I could have been not 2 laps down at that when everything was all said and done there.
Man, I made a statement earlier, racing's hard, so many times
leaders coming out of pits.
I lost track of my I'm watching the pits and I lost track of what I was going to say, so just forget it.
Go ahead.
I honestly lost my thoughts
all
about
right.
what was going on.
Well, then when it comes back to you, let us know. Right. Looks like the number 24 of Travesty Son is our current leader. So he's in the pit road now. Stag is actually, he is cycled out ahead of Death Before Dishonor. So Stag could sweep the weekend here at Dover.
Well, didn't Death have that issue since the green? Or was there a caution?
No.
That was the last issue,
Death,
right?
or Dark Knight. Sorry, it was Dark Knight that was leading. Dark Knight came into the pits after Stag, and Stag cycled out ahead of Dark Knight. So right now it's Stag leading Dark Knight, Rev Hot Nuts, Maydell Be With You, and Sniper. That's the top 5.
we haven't talked about Rev Hot Nuts literally at all tonight. He's up
Oh,
there on
yeah,
the top three. I
I've
made a
talked.
comment that Charlotte. I'm sorry. You might have. I missed it then. I apologize, but I definitely haven't. I've been following his stream, and I don't mean any disrespect at all to him by this.
Actually, if
I'm
you
actually
cite,
pointing out because what I mentioned at Charlotte was he seems like a guy that's always so steady, and you might not see him for a long part of the race, but when it comes to the end, he's always up there battling for. Not we're not F1, it's NASCAR, but in that podium type range. You know what I mean? Top three,
yeah.
top five. I mean,
Speaking of battles,
here
we
we
have
go.
a fierce battle
Top three.
going on for third. As Rev Hot Nuts is trying to hold off Maydell as Maydell shoved him up the racetrack.
Yeah, he's lagging a little bit there, that 22. It just, on my screen, he wobbled a little bit.
How much of it is lag and how
shaky.
much
It's
of it is
bad.
just Dover being Dover, you know?
It's both, man. It's both. He's not bad right now. It's not like the car's not moving away. Like if you're the 10 or the 9, you kind of see it and you know how to ride around
Lead
it.
change.
Like,
lead change. Dark Knight. Well, Dark Knight had gotten around the number 3 of Stag, and now Stag is trying to hold off once again, heading into turn 3. Stag trying to hold off on the top side, Dark Knight on the bottom. This is teammates battling for the transfer spot. One of 3 transfer spots, or one of 3 lock-in spots for the round of 8, and teammates going after it. Yeah, Dark Knight definitely the better car.
A little more. I mean, he definitely had a great exit. I thought he pulled away more than because I'm watching my screen a different camera angle, and I'm a little bit ahead, just like a couple seconds, so kind of jumped the gun there. But yeah, nice pass by that 8 car.
So as it stands right now, there is 5 laps to go. Coming to the line, it will be 4 to go. The 2 Richard Childress cars, Dark Knight and Stag, leading. Oh, gee, who is in 3rd place right now? Oh, that's Sniper in the 10. So it's Dark Knight, Stag, Sniper, Maydell be with you, and Rev Hot Nuts, your top 5.
Every time I say something good about somebody, they lose a spot or wreck, man. I don't know if my conscience can take this announcing thing. But like I said, the last race I said, I guess, we're not running an actual NASCAR field of 40 guys, so we're going to eventually talk about everybody. So if you're going to talk about everybody, somebody's going to have a problem after. So.
Coming around 2 laps to go, here come the lollipops. Dark Knight sees the 2 to go signal with Stag and Sniper not far behind. You could just barely see Sniper coming off of turn 2 as Dark Knight went through that shot. Off of turn 4, here comes the white. Wow. One more trip around this concrete bull ring.
Look at that.
Yeah, unless Dark Knight has some sort of issue, I think he's got this win. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. It looks like it's gonna be Dark Knight.
Besides the Dark Knight.
Dark Knight having probably the most solid race out of everybody, getting the win here at Dover Motor Speedway. Yep, I saw Silence wrecking. Stag will come home in 2nd. Very good run for him. With Sniper in 3rd. Maydell be with you in 4th. Rev Hot Nuts in 5th. Looks like it's going to be Dunlap, Travesty, Biker coming home in 8th after his unfortunate series of events in this race. With Silence being the last driver on the lead lap in 9th. And Death Before Dishonor in the 10th spot.
Listen, we've seen early in my HDRS career here, we've seen some very messy races and questionable incidents. This was probably the most of it, but the reason I say that is because this league, the admins and the drivers have done, it has not been easy but work has been made behind the scenes to make the racing better in all three series, and I believe it has really paid off, and we're seeing it week in, week out. This race was an absolute mess, but like we've said it so many times, it really was just this track, and I bring that up because I contemplate like what am I going to say about this race as the race ends. Well, I don't know what to say about it because like it really was just a mess, but it wasn't. That was just the race. It had nothing to do with anything negative or anything. That was the track. We talked about it. We try to be honest and transparent up here, and I'm just trying to be honest and transparent. That was a tough race for these drivers, but we see we got 10 guys got through it. A few unfortunate guys didn't. But I mean, at the end of the day, you got to work with what you got. These guys race with the cards they play with the cards they're dealt, and I think it was a really a good job by them. So it was a chaotic race, but really that's what happens sometimes, man. So it was like I said earlier, it was like a sleeper type race, like a wild card type race. One just it comes out of nowhere, and all of a sudden you realize, wow, this is wild, and there's so much at line. We got playoffs. We'll see what goes into that when the points come out and everything. But yeah, that was interesting, man. Fun thing.
It was very interesting indeed. Let me just make sure that all the here. Stag, let's start with you. You almost swept the races here at Dover in both the Xfinity and the Cup Series races, but unfortunately, your teammate got the better of you, man. Great racing out there. Tell us about your race. Still, still, you ran an absolutely impressive race out there tonight, man. Great job. You led a number of laps, had some fantastic battles between yourself and Dark Knight, as well as Sniper, who's also in the booth with us tonight as well. I imagine with all the cautions that were had out there, a lot of frustration probably going on in that driver chat. Once again, Stag, fantastic race out there. Congratulations to the second place for you tonight here at Dover. Sniper, you had probably one of the best cars out there. Probably between you and Dark, it was pretty much 50-50 on which one could have won that race. But you just got trapped back down there in the late cautions there. How was your race, sir?
Pretty good. Uh, just had some inconsistencies, got stuck in the back of the pack, had some bad restarts, and just win a race at Dover. You gotta be perfect every step of the way, and I wasn't, so I'll take a third. It was fun racing with Rye and Dale, trying to get around those two to get to third, and then Dark. It was good racing with Dark in the first stage and second stage. Death in the first and second stage. It's it's a tough track to tame, and I think they should be
Calling it the track too tough to tame, not calling that to Dover. Not, oh my God, Darlington. God. But I mean, it is the Monster Mile, so you gotta be perfect.
Yeah,
Man,
and
you're
Go ahead, Bean Izzy.
Sorry, Canoe. You just that kind of just summed up your little brain freeze right there. Kind of summed up what we saw here tonight. It was just it seemed like this track just had you guys really had your work cut out for you mentally, physically with that wheel or controller, whatever you got. Like yeah, like the way like, it looked like you guys were trying to tame something out there. So yeah, I just found that funny the way you kind of yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of speaks volume. It kind of speaks volumes to what I would assume every single one of you were kind of experiencing out there.
Oh yeah, there was mishaps having to figure out cautions and just trying to put your car in the best spot for the end. And I thought Stag was going to get it the very second I heard that he was pitting. I'm like, yep, he's got it. But then Dark was able to get around him. So I mean, it was a good race up racing with those two. I mean, RCR 1-2, Haas third. I mean,
That was a nice move you made on that one of those restarts when you were up high in the I think the second row and you dived down low before turn one. I don't know. It looked like you had space on my screen, but I'm assuming that like from your perspective.
Pretty much be able to put your car where you have to, and I was able to put it where I needed. I mean, just
And now we
I
talk
think
to our winner. Oh, sorry. Go
well,
ahead, Sniper.
I was going to say I think we need to get to the winner.
Yep. So Dark Knight finally joining us. Dark, between you and Sniper, I already talked to Sniper about this, but you guys probably were the class of the field tonight. And you were just, it seemed like you ended up with all the luck out there tonight. Tell us about your race, sir.
I don't know, I wasn't looking at first stage. Kind of bounced back and got through the field. And, it was rough getting through the field because you can't just run over guys. Even though you're faster, you got to kind of just let somebody mess up. And I believe probably everybody probably touched that apron tonight. I know I did several times. And my car to be fast, you got to kind of flirt with it. So, there was times I touched it, and I think I got up into somebody one time, but it's just tough racing. That
Yep.
track's tough racing it, much less racing side by side with somebody.
Um, any any things of note throughout this race? Again, a lot of action, a lot of mistakes being made out there. What was your overall thoughts of the race itself?
It was a pretty good race, man. I mean, it was pretty clean. I don't know what was going on with the cautions there. You know, I know it was coming back. And I was hearing the chatter, but I was mainly trying to concentrate. Overall, it was a good race. Might have been a few frustrations here and there, but nothing major.
Yep. We we I can tell you right now that we enjoyed watching that race tonight at Dover Motor Speedway, and there's still one more race left for the entire weekend. Once again, congratulations, Dark. Let me see
Yeah, I needed
how
those
many.
points. I needed those points bad.
Yep, you locked yourself into the round of eight there. Um, Looking at your overall wins, I think that puts you up to um oh geez, I haven't scrolled down far enough yet. That puts you up to four. That's the most on the season, out of any driver in the series this season.
I hadn't even realized that.
So, all right,
Guess
so
Booth might get tired talking to me every now and then.
once again, congratulations, Stark. That's gonna pretty much do
Congrats,
it.
brother.
Yeah,
That's
thanks,
pr
man.
that's pretty much gonna do it for us here in Hammered Down Racing for the Cup Series. Tomorrow night is gonna be the trucks, 200 laps, 2 times tire wear for them as well. Once again, next week, all competition for Cup, Trucks, and Xfinity in Hammer Down. We are taking the week off in observation of Thanksgiving. Um, let's we'll take that time spend with our families, and we will be back in 2 weeks' time to compete at Chicagoland Speedway, in preparation for the cutoff race, for the round of 12. B Nizzy, do you have any final thoughts here as we call it a night?
To be honest, I don't. I feel like I kind of said all I could. That's why I said it when I said it at the end of the race, because I was kind of starting to panic when that race ended, because like I don't even know what to say about this race. It was just a wild one, but it was definitely really fun to watch. I mean, yeah, congratulations to Dark Knight. I feel bad because I didn't have any real questions for him. He did what he does, man. He got to the front, and really great racing to Sniper between him and Sniper though. That was that was Stag, right? I always for
Yeah,
some reason the
Stag,
S's
Stag.
confuse me. Sniper's. You know what? Listen, I ain't gonna make I ain't gonna dig myself in a hole. It was fun as always, and next week or 2 weeks from now, man, that next third race should be really fun. Where are we at again?
Chicagoland.
Chicagoland. Ooh, yeah, that's gonna be fun. So, yeah, just appreciate being able to be here and call this, and yeah, look forward to doing it again whenever there might be.
Quick check on the fastest laps for the day, and KSJ is sitting at the top of the leaderboard at Dover with a 22.432. Silenced is there in second, Stag in fourth, Death Before Dishonor in fifth. Oh, as I kick myself out of the leaderboard there. But once again, I'm King Canute for being Izzy, calling it a night here for HDRS2, covering the Hammer Down Racing Cup Series, right here on YouTube. We look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Once again, everyone, have a happy Thanksgiving, have a safe and happy holiday season, and safe travels if you are making the trip from wherever you currently are to wherever your family may be. And once again, see you in 2 weeks for Chicagoland Speedway. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow night to the Hammer Down Truck Series, at Dover Internet or Dover Motor Speedway. Have a good one, folks.